Welcome to Live from the Kitchen, wildly simple, life-changing kitchen habits from the Academy of Culinary Nutrition. I clearly have a thing for really long names. So what we are going to be doing today is a whole bunch of my go-to kitchen habits. Some of you know my story. For some of you, I might be brand new. How many of you have never attended anything, have no idea who I am? I really like those of you, all of you. I like those of you who are brand new too. Oh, we've got a few of you who are brand new. So I came into cooking from my own health crisis when I was 26 years old, and I was going doctor to doctor. No one could help me. I took to the room in my apartment called the kitchen. I wasn't very familiar with it. And slowly but surely, I taught myself how to cook. I went back and got my formal studies in nutrition, but realized that if we don't start making healthy cooking accessible and practical and realistic with our time crunches and our budget crunches, no one is going to do it. And so I have dedicated nearly the last 15 years of my life to not just creating recipes and taking photos of my food and all that, but to finding ways to make it simple so that I can keep this going. And so truly in my life, this is how I cook. This is how I eat. This is an effortless lifestyle that is non-negotiable, right? I don't go on health kicks. My life is a health kick because I want to continue to feel well and thrive. And that autoimmune diagnosis that was bestowed upon me in 2006 was healed by the end of that year. And I've had no reoccurring symptoms since. And it was not just the food, it was lifestyle, it was thoughts, it was emotional well-being, it was full total body balance. Healing looks different for everybody. Oh, I got to kick off my shoes for this. What am I doing wearing shoes? So today, what I want to do, and I promised you 10 tips. I'm going to try and double that. We're going to try and get to 20 tips that will transform how you work in the kitchen, that will be the kind of tips where you're like, oh, why didn't I think of that? So my goal is for you to have at least one, why didn't I think of that moment today? All right. So before we get any further, I've got another poll that I am going to, oops, I forgot to end that one. Thank you for completing it. I have another poll I'm going to put up for you today, which is just so we get a little more information. I want to know how many of you are enrolled in 2022, have already done the program, are most likely joining, just so that I know who I'm speaking with. I know we have loads of alumni, and that's a testament to what we do here at the Academy of Culinary Nutrition, what we do with the Culinary Nutrition Expert Program, that we have alumni coming back year after year after year after year. We started running this program in person in 2011. We took it online in 2013, and we've been going strong ever since. So this is not my first ride at the rodeo. I don't know why I use that cliche every time, and I don't even know what the right one is. So we've got quite a few alumni. We've got quite a few 2022 community members. Welcome. And I'll let that poll run a little bit. So this workshop is not passive, my friends. I wish that I could just take it all out and like download it to you. The reason why the Culinary Nutrition Expert Program is so wildly powerful is because we do the work. I teach it as I cook, as I'm going to demonstrate today. And then you go into your kitchens and you start creating and you start being inspired and you eat it. And you're literally taking in this information through all of your senses, and it becomes you on a cellular level, because what we eat becomes us. And we are going to be diving deep and eating the most delicious things ever. And today is all about how we make that easy to do. So thank you for completing that poll. And let's dive into the goods. Where are we going to start today? Well, let's start so simple. And I was prepping this, and there's a lot of little things, but what's fun about this one is there's no cooking. We're not actually doing the cooking. We're getting all the steps ready to make the cooking easy. The first thing we're going to do is a spice mix. How many of you buy packaged spice mixes, like a taco seasoning or a curry seasoning, or I've got here a garam masala, I've got a 5 spice mix, I've got a pumpkin spice mix. How many of you are making your own spice mixes at home? Can I see like a yes, me? I buy some. So you can find good spice mixes. Usually they're loaded with flavor enhancers like yeast extract or monosodium glutamate. I started making my own spices because I have a black pepper allergy. So that's why I do a lot. But what I love is that you're getting your spices so fresh. And what I'm sharing with you now is a taco seasoning. This recipe comes from the Undiet Cookbook, which is my first book. You might recognize my dress from that book if you have it. I was happy to be comfortably wearing a dress that I first got in 2014. So what we're going to do here, this is the simplest thing you can do. We're going to pre-mix a spice mix. This is a taco seasoning. We use this on a chickpea cauliflower mix. We use this on ground beef where I saute it with some onion and red pepper for tacos or nachos. I'll use this on popcorn. We'll use this on when we're making our own crackers or tortillas. So you can put this on chicken. You can put this on tofu. You can put this on whatever you want that little, a little bit of a Mexican inspired spice mix. Mine today will not have cayenne in it because I'll be sharing this with my family and my child does not like spicy foods. I'm going to put in a tablespoon of cumin. And when you're using your own spices to make these mixes, you are using the freshest available. So I did 2 tablespoons chili powder, 1 tablespoon of cumin. You're going to have this full recipe in the handout. We've been at this for what, a minute and a half, and I'm already sweating. It is 1,000 degrees and we have no air conditioning in here. So I'll let you know when it starts like trickling down my upper lip and into my cleavage. Okay, we're putting in a teaspoon of the paprika, a teaspoon of oregano, and a teaspoon of some garlic powder, and we'll add a teaspoon of salt. Okay, how long did that take? Nothing at all. Spices are incredibly rich in antioxidants. Here's where I pepper in the nutrition part of the culinary nutrition. Incredibly rich in antioxidants. We want to load our food with fresh spices. Most people, what do? They crack some pepper on and sprinkle some salt on and call that food, which it is. It's a meal, but we're here to learn how to effortlessly increase the deliciousness of our cooking. So there you go. If you wanted to, you could double this. But then when you want to put a teaspoon in or a tablespoon in, it's easy and ready to go. Labeled taco seasoning will go into my spice cupboard. There you go. Our first recipe done. How do we like that one? Are you going to go do this? It is so easy and makes a difference. And Ashley, I'm just going to ask you if you can just move. We'll leave the taco seasoning here and we can just move the extra spices out of the way. You'll get to meet Ashley in a moment. All right. Hello, everybody. Just checking out what's going on here. My goodness, we are at our space limit for today. Okay. The next thing we're going to do, how many of you have thrown out herbs in the last 6 months, let's say? Have you thrown out fresh herbs because they just either didn't get washed, didn't get prepped and put in the fridge properly, didn't get used? Okay. So here's how you save 30% on your grocery bill. Are you ready? Do you want to know this tip? How you save 30% on your grocery bill is you stop throwing your food away. The statistical average is that we throw away 30% of the food we buy. That's crazy. So if everyone's talking about these inflation rates, well, they're not as high as the amount you are wasting yourself by not properly prepping and consuming the foods you eat. You are never going to throw out fresh herbs again. Bada boom, bada bing. We've got fresh cilantro and parsley from my garden. If you don't like cilantro, don't do this with cilantro, but you might learn to love it. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this really easily. And I normally do this in the Vitamix, but I'm at my office today and we have a blend tech here. But if you were like, what's the best blender? I always say a Vitamix. Sorry, blend tech. Some people swear by and love the blend tech, but not me. What we're going to do with these herbs is I'm going to blend them. Now, if you're using the herbs exclusively for cooking, like you want to throw them in a pan, you want to melt it and add it on to fresh things, put it in pasta, whatever, I'd blend it with olive oil and make little herb cubes with olive oil, or you could use ghee or butter or your favorite cooking fat, avocado oil. But these, I like to use these in smoothies. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of water in, just enough to liquefy this. And we're going to blend. I'm not super familiar with this blender, so this was a bold move on my part. I think this was the nut butter attachment. So there's like herb juice splurging everywhere. So here's what we're going to do with this one. I'm going to bring out a handy dandy, like how I did that. That was so professional. Years of practice, I tell you. What we're going to do, this didn't blend quite as nice as I had hoped, but we're going to make it work. No, we're not. We're going to switch the blender and see if we can do it better. We're live, everybody. That was just a big gloop. That was going to be gloopy. Okay. Okay, throw this to the side. And we will give this another blend so that it's smooth, so I can give you a proper demonstration. And my team is online and they will be answering questions for you. The reason why I like the manual, the Vitamix, is because it's more manual. You can adjust it easier. So here's what we're going to do. We now have our blended herbs and we're going to pour these into little ice cube trays, just like that. Boom, 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 boom. If you wanted to, if you're doing it for cooking, you could measure them out like 1 tablespoon per, but it's not necessary for today's adventure. And now we're going to just imagine that I put it in the freezer. Here's what you're going to get after that. I just have my little under the counter freezer right here. These are frozen. And what you can do is you pop these out like so, and you're just going to store them. So now you've got fresh herb cubes ready to go, organized. You're going to label the bags. All right. How many of you just had like, oh, why didn't I think of that? So this is the reason why I like to do it this way in water, is because I add these to smoothies as a really powerful way to get in a lot of really important herbage. Parsley and cilantro specifically, I love them because they're easy to grow in the garden, but also because they are potent in a detoxification phytonutrient. So it helps draw heavy metals out of the body. So we can store them like so in the freezer in little packets. You can do it in glass containers. I happen to have these little bags. These are from broccoli seeds. So that's how we do it. Okay. Now I'm just going to take these for a moment. I'm just going to put these in here. Why? I'll show you later. We've got our herb cubes in the blender. Remember that. Now, let me turn this around for a moment because we're going to do our next tip. And our next tip involves lemon. How many of you are buying lemon juice in a little plastic thing that looks like a lemon? Okay, Jacqueline's guilty. Okay, we've got some nevers. Jacqueline, don't worry, you're not alone. We've got yeses too. I think people just don't want to say. We're not going to do that anymore, okay? Here's another challenge I have for all of you today. I want you to see something done here and vow to do it. Like, that's it. I'm going to just start doing that. And that's becomes your new normal. And what happens when you start to add a new habit into your life, then you get to build on it. So it's not about doing everything all at once and getting overwhelmed and discouraged. It's like, that I can do. Okay, I've got that I can do. So here's our next one. It involves lemon juice, because we don't want to be buying lemon in containers. We want to buy lemon in fruits, right? Even the glass bottles. So here's what we're going to do. First step, I've already juiced a few to get us going. First step, we don't want to waste the rind, right? There's good stuff in here. So you can peel it with a peeler. You can use a box grater and grate off some of that zest from the outside. I have this little zester. Don't buy a single-use tool if you're not going to be using a lot of zest, but I just zested this off here. So that's what I did first with my organic lemon peel, and we're going to be using that in a moment as well. Okay, so what we do here is we're going to use as much of the food as we can so less goes to waste, right? We're throwing less out, making less food waste, less garbage, using the whole parts. And then we're just going to juice this, okay? So we're going to juice our lemons. Why do I need so much lemon juice? Well, a lot of recipes, especially in the natural food world, call for fresh lemon juice. It helps you, it adds flavor, it's a natural preservative. So there's lots of benefit to using lemon juice. It's an excellent source of vitamin C. What does vitamin C do? Well, vitamin C fuels your adrenal glands. Anyone feeling stressed? Anyone feel stressed at all in the last few years? Anyone? So when we're stressed, we burn through our vitamin C. When we burn through our vitamin C, we have less available to help support the adrenal, the stress response, the white blood cell circulation. all these important parts of our immune system. So lemon, vitamin C. So I love to juice a whole bunch of lemons at once so that in my cooking for the week, I've got my lemon juice ready to go. Now, here's the super powered moment here. Here's the other thing we're going to freeze. We are going to start freezing lemon juice in 1 tablespoon measures. So that way, when a recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of lemon juice or 2 tablespoons, or how many tablespoons are in a quarter cup? Anyone? Anyone? Who's got the first answer? 4 is the right answer. I didn't see who got it first. Lisa. Lisa got that one first. So this way, we just do this. Each little cube, I know, is 1 tablespoon worth of lemon juice. Brilliant, right? So then you can just add this to a hummus if you're going to make one, to a salad dressing, to your glass of water in the morning. If you like having lemon water, saves you having to juice a lemon every single day. So we've got that done, right? So that is what goes into the freezer. Here's my little under the counter freezer we're going to make up. And then what do we have here? Oh, we have frozen lemon juice. Okay. I had a container somewhere here. So now these are 1 tablespoon measures of lemon juice. I like the silicone molds. We're gonna have to pop this back in the freezer because it's already melting. And the reason why I do it separately and I don't want these to melt is because I don't want them to all stick together. So that's what we have here. I think we're going to put them back in the thing and back in the freezer just because they're melting and I don't want them to all stick together because I am nothing if not practical and I'm not wasting a thing today. All right. So how many tips have we covered so far? We've got making your own spice mixes. We've got how to preserve your herbs. We've got pre-juicing lemons. Here's how you make an amazing extra. I saved that rind, right? I did the rind, chopped it up before. And now I'm going to do 1 part of my spice or seasoning or herb or food to 3 to 4 parts salt. Now I'm making a seasoned salt. You can do this with any herb. I've done this with chives from my garden. I've done this with, you can do it with chili peppers. It's really nice to add because what happens is the salt not only preserves the food that you're using, but it infuses, it draws out some of that moisture. So then what happens is you put a little bit of the salt on to your cooking and you have this beautiful flavored salt that enhances the flavor of your food. We have to put in love when we shake. We got love, we got love. All right, so now we have a lemon salt. I hear the round of applause, even if I don't see it. All right, how was that one? Okay, what kind of salt? I used Himalayan salt is the one I used. Yes, I see there's some questions about silicone. I don't cook with silicone. I don't put silicone through the dishwasher. If you've ever had silicone get like plasticky and sort of oily, that's the plasticizers oozing out. Like, yes, it's approved and safe. I don't trust it. So when in doubt, keep it out. Isn't this the cutest mug? I had all of these made for my team, actually. We all have them. And on the other side, it says, I'm kind of a big dill. How cute is that? We actually send out note cards to some students that also say, I'm kind of a big dill. All righty. We are moving right along. Let's do the smoothie. I will wait to find out. I'm not going to call the winner because we got to, actually, maybe I could call the winner. It went very fast, very fast. Who had the fast fingers on my computer? The winner, oh my gosh, I can't get to the top. Oh, I think I can. And the winner is Terry Williams. Terry Williams, welcome to the Culinary Nutrition Expert Program. We're welcoming you. We're welcoming you. I actually host information sessions about the program. And if anyone enrolls during that, they also get an awkward mom dance. So you're getting one, Terry. Welcome. Around here, you're a big deal now too. And I just wanted to mention that next Tuesday, I am hosting the final information session. The Culinary Nutrition Expert Program is a 14-week certification program. We get started mid-September. You'll be wrapped up before Christmas break, and you will be certified as a culinary nutrition expert, empowered with the knowledge that people need to get motivated in the kitchen, to build kitchen confidence, and to come up with the fresh ideas you are here for. Imagine being immersed in this level of fun and inspiration with this incredible community for 14 weeks. It's so good that we have people who are joining us from the other side of the world who took the program 5, 6, 8 years ago. Okay. It is powerful. It's hard work, but it works. So next week, as I mentioned, I am hosting that information session. If you would, if you would like to come, if you're not RSVP, just let us know and we will add you to that. And it's next Tuesday, same time, same place. Different dress, maybe same hairstyle because it's very humid. So just let us know and we will get you there. All right, we are moving along. I'm going to clear this out of the way. Tell me, friends, I just heard a lemon hit the floor. Are we having fun so far? Are we having fun? I'm going to tie this all together so beautifully. Let me give you another tip. Okay, the tip is on produce. Now, it is the season, okay? It is the season of the culinary nutrition experts live for, especially here in Canada, because we are not growing food all year round. We grow food for about 3 months. And like the way we all garden here, you'd think we were really in this for the long term, but it's 3 months really. And so what I wanted to share with you is what I like to do: buy as much as I can fresh from the source when it's ripe, and then I freeze it. And so this works for a few different things. With strawberries, I like to cut them in half. This also is good when you have kind of like bits and bobs of fruit left over that like no one's really eating and it looks like it's going to go bad. Do this. We make fun of my mom, Patsy, who's here, because she has this fruit bag in her freezer. And we're like, what is in that? Like, you never know when you're going to make a smoothie, whether you have grapes or nectarine or some old ginger from a ginger tea. But listen, the borderline rotten strawberry doesn't fall far from the tree, because I'm now the proud owner of a random fruit bag and I love it. So there you are, Mom. This is what I'm showing you how to do. So when you have extra bits of fruit left over, throw them on a cookie sheet. Why do we put them on a cookie sheet? We put them on a cookie sheet so you don't end up with one massive block of fruit, and you're going to freeze this. Okay. I have to do one other thing in advance of another workshop. So I'm just going to share with you one other tip. Okay. I've got zucchinis out the hoo-ha right now from my garden. Like I mentioned, we take gardening very seriously, even though we can't do it for very long. So what you can also do, zucchinis are great in smoothies. So if you have extra produce that can be used for other things, add to soups, that kind of stuff, throw that in there too. Add that to your smoothie bag. Okay. So things that will go bad, you can add all that in. We're going to stick this in the freezer. And then we have this great fresh produce to add to smoothies, to add to fruit pies, to add to mix it in. Like what I do with my son right now, we make coconut yogurt. And if we're going to the park, I'll put a dollop of the coconut yogurt in, throw a handful of the frozen fruit in. So when we get to the park, everything's kind of melted together, but kept cool. An amazing snack. Okay, now let's pull this together a little bit. We're going to do a smoothie. So I already have in here my smoothie cubes, right? I'm going to be needing just the inside of this zucchini for something else I'm making. So I'm going to just throw in here my zucchini peel. Okay. Why not just add this to my green smoothie? It's not going to be green. It's going to be a horrible color because I'm mixing green and red. But here's another zucchini tip. If you're the kind of person who likes zucchini noodles and you don't want to spiral slice them, you can, or you don't have a spiralizer, you can just vegetable peel them like this. And then you do like these thin slices, just up the sides, like so, right? Just like that. Awesome. So you can add that in. I'm going to be using this in a little bit with something else I'm making. Just put that end in too. So we are just throwing all these things into the smoothie. What else am I going to do? into the smoothie. Okay, so I do wild things on live TV. This is live TV. I'm not going to risk opening up a rotten avocado. I got a line. That's too scary for me to do with a live audience of 500 and however many more couldn't get in today. So here's what you do. I can't believe nobody knows to do this. When you open up that avocado and it is perfect and you're like, I only needed a quarter. I only needed a half. Melon ball it out, freeze it on that tray. Melon ball it, freeze it on the tray. And then you have avocado. You can defrost this and add it to salad dressings. You can add it to dips. You can add it to smoothies. You can make guacamole out of defrosted avocado. It will not go bad. Is that your tip? Is that the one you're like, oh my gosh, how did I not know that? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know today. Okay.
A little bit of focus.
Focus issues?
Camera a bit.
Right. Yeah, it looks okay on my end.
Well, but
you're not going to see it from that camera because this is the one that's on. Is it okay? Am I clear? I am a little blurry. Fine here. Okay. Okay, clear. We're going to keep going. Okay. Other tips. Almond milk, cashew milk, homemade nut milks are too valuable to ever waste. So, and if you've not done it yet, I have a beautiful sample class on how to make your milks, totally free, available to everyone. Do you realize how much packaging we're saving by doing this kind of stuff? Not buying packaged milks, not buying packaged lemon juice, not buying packaged spice mixes, not buying frozen berries and more packaging, right? We're saving money, saving garbage, saving throw out waste, and enhancing the beauty and freshness of our food. So I froze these guys because I wasn't going to use them all up. Still fresh and delicious. You can also do this if I'm going to freeze milks, I do it in a quarter cup measure because most recipes that need a nut milk are usually a quarter cup or half cup. But you could also do this in tablespoon measures and then add little frozen cubes of it to your smoothies. So there's that option. What else? I have some protein because this is going to be my lunch after. Again, I don't throw food out. So that was a little bit of collagen. I'm also adding a little bit of flax oil because flax oil, we don't need enough of it. Most people don't like it. It is not the most delicious. I like it, but you know what, let's just go all in. It's a really good source of essential fatty acids that are volatile to heat, light, and oxygen, but they are super fuel for the brain. So we love that. I can add a little bit of cacao because cacao is rich in magnesium. This is not a smoothie making class, so we're going quickly over this stuff, but because I got to show you another tip. And then I'm going to add some of these fresh strawberries and some of these fresh blueberries. Let's just all the blueberries. Blueberries and cacao have a beautiful alchemy effect where the combination of their flavors is greater than the sum of their parts. We're going to blend, okay? Whew, it's hot here. Okay, I'm going to put on the smoothie setting. I don't know what that's going to do. Oh, I'm going to turn the blender on instead of off. All right, so we now have my beautiful smoothie for lunch. It doesn't look really beautiful, but just trust me, it's gonna be delicious. So zucchini and avocado are gonna make your smoothie super creamy without needing to add a banana. Now, let's give this a taste. I almost said tasticle, but that would have been inappropriate. Delicious smoothie, but oh no, I made too much. I'm not going to be able to finish it. What will I do? Anyone ever make a smoothie you thought was epically delicious for a child, a partner, a parent, and they're like, I'm not eating that. Here's what you do. You freeze it. You make it into popsicles and everyone has a good time. Happy as can be. Although Finley, my son, has taken to asking me, is that a salad flavored popsicle? So I'm trying to be mindful of the greens, but there you go. So I've now used up, nothing goes to waste, and we've made some beautiful smoothie pops that for those of you with little ones you care for, my oh my, at the end of a hot summer's day, be like, do you want a special little treat I made you? What about a popsicle? And there you have it. Amazing, no waste. All those good ingredients get consumed just in a different form. And somehow when it's in a popsicle, it feels more special. So how's that one? We're good? We're good? All right. Just checking the time. We're doing well on time. We're going to go a little bit over because I want to make sure I can answer some questions. So I'm just doing a little switchy swapperoo here. I need this. I don't need these things, and I'm going to give you that. And we will leave the popsicles just right here for now. And I can give you that. Okay, we are going on to the last couple of things. So I like, by the way, these are the stainless steel ones are by Onyx, and there's also these silicone ones, which are nice for even for smaller children, because they squeeze up, and so the juice doesn't drip all over them. It drips back into the container, so that's nice. All right, what do I have on this magic tray of tricks that I need? Shazam, Shazoomy, diggity doo. We usually do a commercial break, but there was so much I wanted to share today that we're just going for it. And I need another appliance. So we're going to do a little appliance swap. All right. So there we have food processor. Now, again, I typically make my hummus, which is what we're going to make in my Vitamix, but we're going to do it in here today. So first things first, how many of you are buying chickpeas? Let's back up. How many of you are buying ready-made hummus in a little single-use plastic container? And if you reuse those containers, it doesn't count. I mean, it still counts. Doesn't. Anyway, how many of you are buying hummus ready-made? Okay, we got a bunch of you. Okay, stop, please. Stop doing it. There is no reason. How many of you are like feeling smug and like, no, I make all my own hummus? How many of you are buying those chickpeas in a can? Oh, we've got some. Oh, yeah. Okay, so no more. Buy your beans dried. You can do this with chickpeas, cannellini beans, azuki beans, black beans, soybeans. Whatever bean you're about to ask me about, you can do it with that bean. So you soak it for like 6 hours and then you simmer it. I simmer it. Actually, usually soak it overnight because then it needs to cook less time. And then I simmer it with a little bit of kombu, like a seaweed. So that helps to draw out, we'll just call it the toot factor in some beans. And I discard the juice left over. I know that in the vegan world, they often use it to make things fluffy, but it's an anti-nutrient nightmare. So I don't consume that juice, but to each their own. So I'm going to just add in, and then so I cook a big batch of those chickpeas and I freeze it in 2-cup measurement in jars. Why? Because hummus needs 2 cups of cooked beans. So easy as can be. So I freeze these. So I usually have about 6 jars of frozen beans ready to go, so that I don't have to buy the cans, buy packaged single-use plastic hummus. And this just tastes so much better. Remember that pre-juiced lemon juice I had? So now this is easy. 2 tablespoons of lemon juice ready to go. Okay. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of olive oil. And I realized that I did something that you only do on live video, which is I threw a lid into the thing of tahini. So that happened. So I'm just going to get the tahini in. If you're using a Vitamix, by the way, you don't need ready-made tahini. You can use whole sesame seeds here. You might just want to add a little bit of extra water or a little bit of extra oil. And then I'm going to add my teaspoon or 1/2 teaspoon of salt. That's the basic recipe. 2 cups of chickpeas, 1/4 cup each of olive oil, tahini, salt, water. And then that's it. Here's what we're going to do. Leftover roasted vegetables. Those are going to go into your hummus. Okay. This works with squash. This works with beets. This works with carrots. It works with turnips, parsnips. Add that in. It's delicious. It adds so much flavor. And in this case, will make your hummus a little bit sweeter. This is one of my son's favorite ways to consume hummus. If you wanted to, you could experiment with adding some of that taco seasoning into it. You could experiment with adding those herb cubes into it. See how we've now tied this all together. Why am I not adding the herb cubes into mine? Because this is going to be in my son's picnic lunch tomorrow, and he will not eat it if there's green mixed with orange brown. So we work our way in. I can sneak it in the smoothies and the popsicles, not necessarily in the hummus. And then we're just going to blend this together. Alrighty, friends. And now we have a beautiful hummus. See, I like to do it in my Vitamix because it gets it a little bit smoother, but whatever. This is good too. And I just have to taste it. It looks so good, but I always have to taste everything. Stop the clock. Best hummus I've ever had in my life. That is some good stuff right there. This is going to be a winner with everybody at home. I know it. All righty, friends. Friends. What have we done today? Well, let me present you with our food waste. Oh, I forgot to put this in the hummus. This was supposed to go into the hummus too. We're doing it. We're doing it. Because here's the thing. This is going to make a large volume. So we've now added 1 cup of sweet potato, roasted sweet potato to the hummus. But we're now also adding that raw zucchini, which adds a little bit of moisture, a little bit of liquid. And we're going to have a lot of hummus left over. And you're like, I'm never going to finish all that. That's okay. You can freeze it. You can share it with a friend. You can give it to your neighbor. Because if you think about what you spend on those little containers of hummus, for the same price, if not less, you've made double the volume. So there you go. Okay, now the reason why, if you're wondering why I took the peel off of the zucchini before I put in the hummus, was because if I added that green, it would have been fine, but it would have changed the color. And I didn't want to change the color. I wanted it to be like a nice hummusy looking brown. So what have we done today, friends? A lot. That was more than 10 tips. Let me see if I can recap them all. It doesn't look like a lot, but we did a lot because we also have, we have our frozen cubes. So I'm just going to leave this here as a souvenir from today. So we started with making a taco seasoning. So making up our own spice mixes using fresh spices so that we don't have to buy them. We know exactly what's in them. They're super fresh and we're getting the most powerful culinary nutrition hit, flavor, health benefit, deliciousness, ease, all at once, ready to go. We blended and are going to freeze our herbs into little cubes. We also pre-juiced our lemon juice, which we can keep in a jar in the fridge or freeze to have little single-use 1 tablespoon measures of lemon juice ready to go. We made a smoothie that used our frozen fruit bits that did not go to waste. I've got hummus all over me. When I put this dress on this morning, my son was like, what if you get food on it? I was like, it's likely. It's probably going to happen. We made that smoothie with loads of stuff in it, including those herb cubes. And then we froze it, the leftovers, to make popsicles. And then we have a hummus we made from chickpeas we cooked ourselves. We added in leftover roasted vegetables from dinner last night. We added in the pre-juiced lemon. We added in some extra zucchini so it wouldn't go to waste. And what we have left is a nublet. What am I going to do with this? I'm going to add it to my stock bag. So carrot peelings, onion tips, garlic peels, all of that goes into another bag that I use when I make a soup stock. And that's the end of that story. So what do you think? Are you inspired? Tell me in the chat, what is one thing you are going to do from today that becomes a non-negotiable in your kitchen? I can put my glasses on for this so I can actually see what you're telling me. Dried. Oh my gosh, this is going so fast. I have no idea what you're saying, but thank you. Sounds like you got something out of this today. Amazing. Amazing. I'm so happy. Oh, this fills me with absolute joy. Are you feeling inspired? Do you feel like you now have some new things to take with you in your back pocket that will change the way you start to change the way you work in the kitchen, maybe deepen your relationship with the kitchen, recognizing that health, oh my, if we don't have our health, we cannot, my glasses are so dirty. If we do not have our health, we cannot thrive in our lives. We cannot fulfill on our own unique, infinite potential. We cannot make our mark on the world that makes it a better place. I've been saying this for 14 years. There is no single greater harm to the planet than a human being out of balance. And we are seeing that in a magnified way. And we need to own our health. Yes, things happen. Yes, we live in an environment, in a world with substances and chemicals and all these things being used that we cannot control at all, but we do get to choose what's on the end of our fork. And that is a powerful choice we get to make 3 to 5 times a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And I want to help you to make that the most inspired, exciting, delicious, easy, beautiful choice you can. And that is my mission. That's what I do here at the Academy of Culinary Nutrition. That's what we do in the Culinary Nutrition Expert Program. As you all know, registration is open now for just 4 more weeks, 5 more weeks. We now also have a 30-day payment plan available just until next Friday, which means you can enroll and split your tuition in 2. So that is a great opportunity. If, is this poll still running? I don't even know. Yep, it's still running. Okay. If any of you didn't answer and want to, you can. But I wanted you to know that this is what we do here. It is really about meeting you where you're at, guiding you through a learning experience where you have a dedicated program coach to support you every step of the way. You also get a dedicated culinary nutrition expert buddy, someone else in the program with you. You swap recipes with them, you swap tips and support, and everyone starts and finishes this program together. So not only is there momentum of your class, the group that does it together through this season, but you also have an entire community of alumni, nearly 3,000 people in over 75 countries around the world cheering on your success, all with the like-minded mission of helping those in their lives feel better, feel great, feel empowered and motivated to take ownership over their health, to cook beautiful food, and to share this beautiful experience. So that gave me goosebumps. I hope you're feeling all the feels. We are going to be sending you an email shortly where you can opt in to get access to the bonus for showing up live today. If you want more information, you know where to find us. And once again, we have that live information session happening 1 week from today on Tuesday, August 16th. So it's going to be live. There will be a recording available. But if you're not sure, if this is the first you're experiencing this information, you wonder if you're ready, you are ready. Something brought you here today. It was your curiosity. It was your desire to learn some new skills. It was your desire to take a little bit more responsibility, motivation, have an easier time in the kitchen. Imagine being able to cook up beautiful meals without even needing to look at a recipe, just because you did the work in a 14-week program to learn how this all works together. I'm here for you. My team is here for you. Thank you so much for joining me today.